It's another wild overreaction Monday in Miami, and the Dolphins have every reason to feel the energy. For wins in their last five, 3 straight victories, and the momentum in South Florida is starting to feel very real. Today, we're breaking down the latest Dolphins storylines and rumors after that gritty 21-17 win over the New Orleans Saints in Week 13. But before we dive into the heart of today's breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. All right, let's get into it. One of the biggest conversations right now revolves around running back De'Von Achane, and make no mistake, this is a major decision Miami cannot avoid. For me, this is a four-fin situation, absolutely real, absolutely significant. Achane is officially extension eligible, and after the electric start to his NFL career, he's going to come knocking for a new deal this offseason. As a Day 2 draft pick, he's now entering the final year of his rookie contract, set to make just $1.8 million. Unbelievably low for a player performing like a top 5 running back in the league. And here's where the tough question hits Miami right in the face. Should the Dolphins pay him? On the surface, it feels like a no-brainer. He's young, explosive, productive, and one of the most valuable offensive pieces on the roster. But when you zoom out, the picture gets complicated. The Dolphins still need major upgrades to become true contenders. A more reliable offensive line, stronger quarterback consistency, a more disruptive pass rush, and a secondary that isn't rebuilt every single season. Building a championship-level roster takes cap space, patience, and tough choices. And paying a running back $15 to $20 million per season, the same territory as Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and James Cook, can dramatically shift the Dolphins' long-term flexibility. Achane deserves the respect. He deserves the conversation. But the Dolphins must decide whether investing that much money in a running back is part of their championship blueprint. But here's the real challenge Miami has to face. Are you willing to pay De'Von Achane $15 to $18 million per year for the next 3 or 4 seasons? That's the heart of the dilemma, and it's not an easy call. On one hand, this is how great organizations are built. You draft your stars, you develop them, and you reward them. And Achane absolutely fits the mold of a homegrown cornerstone. But the truth is unavoidable. Running back is the one position where teams can still find serious production on rookie contracts. If the Dolphins don't extend Achane, they could look for a cheaper back in the draft and keep the cap clean. Still, if you ask me, there's real value in establishing a culture, a message that Miami takes care of its own. I lean yes, but it's the kind of decision that will follow this franchise all offseason long. Just like the Achane situation, this one gets 4 fins. Absolutely real, absolutely concerning. Tua Tagovailoa has not played to the level Miami expected this season. When you commit to a quarterback with a massive 4-year extension at nearly $50 million per year, the expectation is simple. Be the engine of the offense. Be the difference maker. Stay on the field. Instead, Tua looks like the opposite of who he used to be. There was a time when he played fearless football, when he'd lower his shoulder, escape pressure, extend plays, and turn broken situations into first downs with his legs. He wasn't perfect, but he was dangerous. This year, it's been the complete opposite. Tua has become hesitant, almost refusing to move outside the pocket. Even when he escapes pressure, he rarely threatens defenses on the ground. Defenders simply don't fear his legs anymore. And when a defense doesn't have to respect a quarterback's mobility, whether behind the line of scrimmage or beyond it, the entire playbook becomes easier to defend. Every level of the field shrinks. Every coverage becomes tighter. It's holding Miami back. And Sunday against the Saints made that clearer than ever. Tua's performance against the Saints wasn't just a rough outing. It was one of his most discouraging games of the season. And what makes it worse is that New Orleans' defense hasn't exactly been a powerhouse this year. Completing barely half his passes, throwing an interception, and nearly giving up another that Quincy Riley dropped, it all paints a troubling picture. And the interception he did throw? That play was brutal. One snap after Minkah Fitzpatrick stripped the football, Tua forced a pass into double coverage toward Jalen Waddle. It was the kind of decision that simply cannot happen from a quarterback meant to lead this franchise. Tua now sits at 14 interceptions on the season, tied for the most in the NFL. He hasn't protected the football, he's been inconsistent with his accuracy, and he's not extending plays when the structure breaks down. And here's the harsh reality. You can't win consistently in the NFL, especially against elite opponents, especially late in the year, when your quarterback struggles with arm strength, avoids using his legs, and keeps putting the ball in harm's way. That combination is a ceiling you cannot break through. So yes, I truly believe Tua Tagovailoa is holding this offense back, and I don't enjoy saying it. I'm not here to be the doom and gloom, voice whispering negativity after a stretch of wins. Miami has taken 4 of its last 5, playing hard, fighting, scratching, clawing. But winning a few games in November doesn't change the long-term truth many fans are finally starting to accept. The Dolphins are not built to make a serious Super Bowl run with this head coach-quarterback pairing. Because even when they stack victories, the core issues don't disappear. They only get delayed. If Miami truly wants to rise in the AFC East, if they want to survive the gauntlet of the AFC playoffs, if they want to stand toe-to-toe with legitimate contenders, they need new leadership on the sideline and under center. We'll look at the updated playoff outlook in a moment. But first, here's the simple reality. Miami has won 3 straight. They could make it 4 with a win over the Jets this Sunday. If you love this team and want to stay locked in for every moment of the chase, make sure you're here for the ride, because things are only getting more intense from this point forward. Now, let's break down where the Dolphins actually stand in the AFC playoff picture. Right now, Miami isn't completely eliminated, but they're hanging on by the thinnest thread. This is a 3-fin situation, not mathematically done, but for all practical purposes, the door is almost shut. Sunday's results didn't help. A few things broke their way earlier in the week, but by the time the dust settled, the AFC picture only grew darker. Buffalo pushed their record to 8-4. The Chargers did the same. Houston climbed to 7-5. Pittsburgh slipped, Kansas City slipped, Baltimore stayed steady, and there the Dolphins sit at 5-7, hoping to climb to 6-7 with a win next Sunday. But here's the harsh truth. To reach the postseason, Miami would need to chase down teams already sitting at 8 wins, teams like the Bills, Chargers, and Colts, and hope they collapse down the stretch. That's not just unlikely, it borders on impossible. Worse yet, the Texans' upset win in Indianapolis delivered a brutal blow. The Colts, already dealing with Daniel Jones' injury and struggling to stay afloat, still managed to stay ahead in the race Miami needed chaos in. Instead of falling behind, they survived, and the Dolphins took another hit. The Jaguars are cruising toward 10 wins. The Bills are almost certainly reaching double digits. The Chargers should get there too. Those teams control their own destiny. Miami does not. Could the Dolphins win out and finish 10-7? Technically, yes. But would that be enough with the tiebreakers? Almost certainly not. And that's why this situation sits at 3 fins. Not completely dead, but close, painfully close. The kind of still breathing, but barely hope that keeps fans staring at the standings even while knowing the ending is already written. Is there a miracle path? Maybe. Is it realistic? No. Miami's postseason dreams aren't officially over, but they're fading fast.